Hello, YouTubers! Ryan here. I figured I'd do a new video today. And I know it's not a vacuum video. You're wondering what the hell is this? This is a Ancestry.com app. It's from, if you ever used Ancestry, you're kind of curious, about who your relatives are, maybe your ancestors. This is a pretty good place to start. Okay, so this is the app, and I have my family tree. I call it Selman Topper Family Tree. I have it in pedigree view. There's also two ways to do this. There's fan view. I like pedigree view because it kind of makes it, it's a little bit easier. Oops. Yeah, that's okay. Because usually when you go to pedigree view or family view, it's a little longer. See how it does like that? So anyway, I like pedigree view. Okay? So, of course, this is me. I think that picture was from West Virginia. I was living with my aunt. And I think I showed a little bit of ancestry because this has been really fascinating stuff that I've been looking through. And so when you get your app, and it's just one thing is you want to subscribe to the service. And I forget what this subscription got to. I got the best one. I think it's like one with most features because I want to get as much information as possible from Ancestry.com. So anyway, so what it does is you have you start here, that's you, and then as you go along, you get your parents, your grandparents, great grandparents, so on and so forth. So you see here, here's my dad and my mom. Now, I don't have much information, mom. I really don't know much about it, but here's information about my dad. You know, um, which is pretty accurate. You get a little life story summary. Oh, I was trying to waste screen. So you get a life summary, and I modified a little bit to specify, some of the information. Like here, like it says here, John Lynn Sullivan Jr. was born on February 8, 1958 in Hanover, Pennsylvania, son of Lorna and John Sr. He had two sons, one daughter. He died from lung cancer January 29, 2007 in his hometown at the age of 48. So that's and I modified the summary a little bit. And I keep getting smudges on my screen. Jesus. So anyway, it kind of, as you go along, get more records, it kind of, creates a little life story for you. And also will tell you, like, for example, the parents, you see the parent, sorry, damn it. So that, there's his parents, my grandfather and my grandma. Um, Sometimes you get a gallery, like, for example, sometimes you get an obituary. Oh, for God's sakes. Yeah. Once, whatever. Okay, no, that ain't it. There we go. So, like, for example, apparently a user, Ancestry user, Battlefield 222, added this obituary to the Ancestry, which I think is pretty accurate. This was from the Evening Sun. So anyway, and so I go further, and of course I know, my grandma's name, And this thing, and the really cool thing is, it doesn't have you second guessing, like who's related, how they related. It just tells you. Like, for example, here, obviously, my grandma. I have to get a picture of my grandma. I'll look on Facebook. I might have a picture on Facebook of my grandma. And I'll try to get a picture of my dad. My dad's dad, my grandfather, John L. Summon. I'm going to put their senior. Senior. Oh, damn it. There. There's one of his. That's a little bit of a plaque, sort of like a grave site. Yes, his name was Bonnie Lindy Selman. Stop laughing. I know that's a name you don't really hear much. I feel sorry for anybody who has the name Bonnie as their name. And I'm guessing my grandfather, Grandpa Selman, must have changed his name to John Lynn Selman Sr. or John Lynn Selman, which makes a lot of sense. And actually, I'm going to edit that quick. Put it in there, Lynn. There we go. So that way, you know, I kind of like got modifying a little bit. For example, I think my grandfather, John Lynn Selman Sr., I never met because he passed away before I was born. Very shortly before I was born, I think around either July 15th or July 19th of 1990. I was born July 30th, 1990. So yeah, I never got to meet him. That sucks. Anyway, he ran a body shop in Hanover called SHS, so someone's body shop. Grandma run the SHS Associates business, which is notary, and I probably will split this in a couple parts. You know, this is kind of like, you know, part one of this whole thing, and so I've been. Oh, and I did get a place an order for Ancestry DNA, which should help in my journey of uncovering as many relatives as I can find. And if this thing will load up, there we go. Yeah, so there I ordered it, you know, so yay. So hopefully I find a lot more information because I've really been fascinated to see who my ancestors are. And so, like before, I knew that I was born and I was, you know, there was my dad, my grandfather, and my grandmother. And I kind of knew up until like great grandma Topper and their family, and that was it. You know, pretty much like, you know, any further it was a pretty much big old blur. So anyway, I typed in John Lynn Selman Sr. So obviously I got that information. Then this happens. I come across John Henry Selman. No picture. Which sucks because I really would love to know what my great grandpa John Henry Selman looked like. And I'm guessing my grandpa Selman must have changed his name to John Lynn instead of Bonnie Lindy, you know. I mean, come on, my grandfather was probably a man's man. He, you know, no macho man's gonna have the name Bonnie Lindy. Unless you really want to screw with somebody, you know, make them think, you know, or make them make people think that you're a wimp, but actually turn out to be a really macho, tough guy or whatever. I'm not sure. I know, I'm just rambling on. So anyway, so I found John Henry Selman, and then I come across all this. Several of siblings. I did not know until recently that Grandpa Selman had siblings. Like, for example, Mary Selman, Violet Selman, Nancy L. Zumbrum, I guess that's her married name, Patsy Selman, James Selman. Yeah, there's a lot of information. So, like, I tap on here, for example, my great aunt Mary, I think it's Mary Ann Selman. The reason it has name Taxi is because she was married to a man named Henry Taxi, and I haven't found any information about any descendants or anything, though I did find some of this, like Alan Taxi, Myrtle V Taxi. I will have to look that up. Um, I was kind of hoping I'd look up, you know, see if there was any, like, if Aunt Mary and Uncle Henry had any children, which would be cool because then that would just make me related to the taxis, but nothing. So, damn it. Did not know I had an Aunt Violet or a great Aunt Violet. And I'll tap on this, like, you know, to figure out, okay, how does this descend? So, for example, here it says, Violet is my grand aunt. I was sending a text. It'll go down, like, say, Violet is the daughter of John Henry, my great-grandfather, John Henry, which is my great-grandfather's, is Grandpa Selman's dad. And then, of course, Grandpa Selman is my dad's father, and then goes down to me. And it's pretty smart. Ancestry is a really cool resource because it's very useful if you're trying to figure, you know, if you want to learn about who your past ancestors are, it's very useful. And if you know, and sometimes I've been going through trying to, you know, logically, you know, kind of, I guess you could say reason deduction or whatever, because there's tons of records all over this crap, and there's a lot of information, like I say anyway. So for the Selman part, the farthest I got was George J. Salmon and uh, Rosinia Salmon, which is Rosinia Salmon is my second great grandmother. Of course, I never met her because obviously she has passed on long before I was born. Sorry, I'm texting my girlfriend back. And then George J. Summer, which I think is his full name, um, is my second great grandfather, and that's pretty much as far as it'll go because I don't have any more information on them. Maybe if that's why I ordered the DNA kit. Maybe that'll help. I know this is boring as hell. You think, why would we want to learn about your family? Well, I figured I'd do something different other vacuum videos because I haven't done a lot of vacuum videos recently, and I haven't had a chance to get them all and do vacuum videos. I'm sure I will. But anyway, so I also learned that my great grandpa's son, John Henry, was married to my great grandmother Ethel M. Leary, and I kind of found that out through records. Looking up records, I think for great grandpa Solomon, and I found the proper name for his wife, and I came up with William J. Leary and Agnes O'Connor. Uh, what the? I'll look at notifications later. Stupid phone, damn it. Yeah, you get. Yeah, okay, so 11 minutes. Well, anyway, so I figured to show this so far. I think what I'm gonna do, I'll do a playlist, and maybe maybe it's something interesting. So I might take you on a journey and figure out all this information about my ancestors, about my past family members. At least I learned one thing: I am part Irish. I kind of figured that out. I kind of figured that was the case because I knew I think I'm part German. That's sort of not confirmed yet, but I definitely know I'm part Irish. How do I know? Come on, Leary, O'Connor, that's Irish. That is definitely Irish. Alright, so I'll figure to stop this video quick. Once I discover more information, once I unlock more information, I'll do a second video on this. So feel free to rate, comment, subscribe, and yeah, maybe give Ancestry.com a try. See you soon.